Hello, my flowy friends, and welcome to this chest and heart opening flow, which was taken from one of my live sessions that I did over on Insight Timer. It's a really nice practice. It's an hour long, and it's really good for opening up the chest and the lungs to allow more oxygen flow. And in turn, this will help improve your energy levels and reduce stress. It also helps you feel much more open, and yeah, that's really great for some self-love, which a lot of us don't give ourselves enough of. So I hope you enjoy the practice, and yeah, thanks for watching. Okay, everybody, so if you like to come to the back of your mat, come into a kneeling position, cushion yourself if you need to here. Take the knees about hip distance apart. I'm just going to take a few moments just to arrive on the mat. So you can just rest your hands just on your lap just for a moment. Inhale as you lengthen up through the spine and the crown of the head. And then as you exhale out, just release the shoulders down, just come to relax. Make sure that you're nice and settled on your heels. And then I invite you just to close your eyes here, as long as that is okay for you today. We're going to start to breathe a little deeper here. And just starting to arrive on the mat and prepare ourselves for some movement. And as you continue to breathe, just turn your attention inward, noticing how your body is feeling as you sit here in your kneeling position. Notice if there's any areas that you're feeling any tightness or tension. And then take your awareness up to your heart space, and you can place your hands on your heart space here, or just one, depends. I'm just going to do one just because it covers my mic otherwise. So just popping your hands on your heart space and just take some deeper breaths here and really feel the chest lift underneath your hand as you breathe. So feel that rise and fall. And just tune into how you're feeling in that area as well today. Notice if the chest feels tight at all. Are you able to feel your heart beating? It all depends on where you've placed your hand. So don't worry if you don't feel your heart beating. I'm sure it's beating. If you're breathing, it's beating. And then just checking in with your mood here. So always a nice place to just bring that awareness. Notice if you are in any sort of mood today. Notice if there's any type of emotion attached to that as well. Sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. And as we go through the practice today, we're going to be opening up the chest, opening up through the upper body. And this is going to help increase oxygen levels, which is going to help us reduce stress. And then also hopefully leave us feeling a little more open as well. And it would be really nice if you set an intention today for the practice to be a little bit more open to self-love. So something a lot of us struggle with is loving ourselves. We love other people, we love our pets, we love friends and family, but we don't often give that love to ourselves. So just think about that as you go through the practice today. Each time I say shine your chest forward, you're opening yourself up to give yourself a little bit of self-love, which is what you definitely deserve, what we all deserve. Finally, just taking your awareness to your mind. We're noticing any of those thoughts that might be arising, and then we're just going to let them go. So take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, just see those thoughts just float away into the distance. Lovely. Just return your hands back down to your lap. Take a nice deep breath in here. And as you exhale, just slowly blink open the eyes. We're just taking the moment to take in the room again. Lovely. From here, we're going to just curl the toes under. So just come to lift up, curl the toes under, and then you're just going to come to sit back on the heels. Make sure that all the toes are pointing forward, just so that you don't, like sometimes the pinky is not pointing forward. You just don't want to bruise it or anything. So just have all the toes coming forward. Let's lengthen up through the spine, and then we're going to inhale, circle the arms up overhead, nice and steady and slow. Take your gaze up in between your hands, bring the hands together, exhale, bring them down to heart center. Lovely. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And then exhale, hands down to that heart space. Wonderful. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, bring the hands down. Lovely. This time as you send the arms out, send them a little bit more out behind you as you reach on up nice and high. Take your gaze up in between your hands. Exhale, bring your hands down to your heart space. Again, take those arms out a little further so you're reaching more behind you. As you lift up, look up. Exhale, hands come to your heart space. Lovely. One more time, send those arms out behind you. Just hold them there, squeeze the shoulder blades, and then continue the arms up overhead. And then exhale, bring them back down. Lovely. Just a couple more normal ones now, just out to the side. Lift up, exhale down, lift that chest as you lift the arms up, exhale down. One more time, inhale, lift up, and then exhale down. Lovely. From here, stay as you are. I'm just going to come to face you. We're going to send the arms out in front, palms together, so arms out nice and straight here. And then we're going to inhale as we send the arms out. And then once they're out, we're going to pop them into cactus arms, squeeze the shoulder blades, just lift the chest. Exhale, bring the hands back out in front. Just reach forward, so bring those shoulders forward as you reach forward. And then inhale, send the arms out into that T shape, squeeze the shoulder blades, and then open up to cactus arms, squeeze a little more. Exhale, bring the hands together, and then send them out, and then cactus. Lovely, bring them back forwards. Inhale, open like big wings, cactus the arms. Lovely, and then bring them back forwards, and then just let your hands come down to your lap. Just roll your shoulders a couple of times, go up and back, and then bring them forward. Lovely. And then just make your way into a tabletop position here. So making sure knees are underneath the hips, wrists underneath those shoulders. And then from here, we're going to move intuitively, and we are just going to do whatever you feel is good here. So You might want to do some moving cat-cow, moving backwards and forwards. You might want to do some kind of hip circles where you're just swaying the hips, maybe looking over your shoulder. So moving in whatever way feels good. You can do a combination of all these things. You might go all the way back to your heels, have a bit of a stretch, and then lean forward, then maybe look over the shoulder, send the hips to one side. So just do whatever feels good. Move intuitively. How do you want to move? What feels good? You can bend into the elbows, bring the forearms down, maybe drop the head, rise on up. So I'm just giving you some ideas here of what sort of things you can do. And just keep breathing here. Lovely. Just keep it going for a few more breaths. Fabulous. Bring it back to your tabletop position. Then we're going to thread the needle here. So inhale as you lift the left arm up, open that chest. Exhale as you send the arm underneath the right. So coming onto left shoulder, left ear. You're going to take your right arm up overhead here, send the hips over to the left just to square them off. And then just taking a few breaths here. So you can walk the fingertips away from you a little more as well on that right hand. So maybe make a dome with the fingers. You're going to get a nice stretch underneath that arm. And you might find it goes a little way down into more where your breastbone is. Breathe into the chest here. Feel the chest expand. Lovely. Slide that hand in front of your face. Let's push back up into our tabletop position. And then taking it to the other side. Inhale as you lift the right arm up. And then thread it underneath the left. Coming on to left shoulder, left ear this time. Take left arm up overhead. We bump the hips over to the right side this time, squaring them off. And then if you did walk your fingers a little further away from you, maybe you made a little dome with the hand. If you did that on the other side, yeah, do the same this side. Close the eyes if it feels good. Breathe into your chest here. Breathe into the shoulders. Nice deep breaths. Lovely. Slide that left hand in front of your face. Push yourself back to that tabletop position. And then you're going to tuck your toes, send the hips nice and high for your downward dog. As soon as you arrive in that downward dog, just start to pedal out the legs, pedal out the knees. You can do this nice and steady. Keep that breath nice and even here. Lovely. Bring it back to your downward dog. And then we're just going to lower the knees down towards the floor. Let them hover here. And then just send your hips up nice and high, stretching through the legs. So just exhale as you lower the knees down towards the floor. So any amount is good here, as long as there's a little bit of a hover, as long as you're not putting them all the way down. And then straighten those legs. Be nice and strong in your shoulders here. Lower the knees. And then straighten the legs. Push the heels away from you. Lovely. One more time. Lower the knees. And then send it back. Push those heels away from you. Fabulous. Take a breath in and then just roll yourself forward and then start to walk the feet in as many steps as it takes to the front of the mat. You are going to have the feet in hip distance apart and then exhale down into a forward fold, knees bent as generously as you need here. Lovely. If you can bring your hands down to the floor, just take them out a little way ahead so they can come off the mat if you're right near the front of the mat.
And then just sway a little bit from side to side. If this is a little tricky for you, then you can just opt to hold on to opposite elbows, do that little ragdoll position where you're just swinging and swaying from side to side. Breath nice and steady. You might want to shake the head a little bit here, up and down. Maybe turn it left and right. Fabulous. Lovely. When you're ready, just return to that forward fold and then inhale, slowly roll yourself up to standing. Push those feet down into the floor. Slowly, slowly roll up into mountain pose. Let the palms shine forward here. Lovely. I'm just going to come to face you just so that you can see me a little better, but you can stay at the top of the mat. And then we're just going to roll one shoulder. So the right shoulder, rolling it up and back. You can make this a nice big movement here, taking it right up to the ear, bringing it back. Really pull the shoulder back. Keep breathing here. And keep the chest, the top of your chest nice and elevated here. So keep that, imagine you've got like that little beacon of light there. You're kind of shining it up towards the sky. Lovely, let's take it to the other side. So that left shoulder up and back. Nice big circles. So as exaggerated as possible. Keep that breath flowing. Wonderful. Now we're going to do one arm at a time. So we're going to send this right arm forward, up and back. You can almost take your gaze with your hands. So gaze behind you and then bring it forward. So you're really pulling the arm back, pulling the shoulder back, opening up through the chest. Creating a little space on that right side in the ribs. Inhale up, exhale as you bring it back down. Lovely. Then we're going to take it to the other side. So left hand comes up, forward, up and back. You can take that gaze with the arm back behind you. Really think of opening up through your chest here. Opening through the ribs, creating that space between the ribs and the belly as you reach up. Lovely. Then we're going to alternate the arms now. So almost like you're swimming. So send that right arm forward, up and back. Once it comes back down by your side, you're going to lift the left one up and back. And then just keep switching. So literally like you're doing the backstroke. Keep the breath going. So don't hold your breath here. Don't grip the belly. Lovely. Wonderful. And then from your mountain pose here, you're going to sweep both the arms up and forward, and then we're going to bring the arms back behind us, and you're just going to push the hips forward slightly, lift the chest, a little bit of a back bend here. Inhale as you lift the arms up overhead, and then exhale, come forward into a forward fold. And then just go back to either that little ragdoll or your hands out in front. Just do that little sway from side to side. So whatever feels good here. Lovely. When you're ready, let's come up into a halfway lift here. And then think nice flat back, but then also pull your shoulders back. So pull the shoulder blades, pull the top of the shoulders back. Imagine that little light in your chest is just shining down just in front of your feet. Take a breath in and then exhale back down to your forward fold, nice and steady. Inhale up into that halfway lift, pull the shoulders back here. Think a nice long line right down from your sacrum all the way up to the back of your head. And then exhale, lower it down. Lovely. Plant your hands, step both feet back into a high plank position here. Take a moment to find that. Draw your navel in. Take a deep breath in and then lower yourself down onto your belly. So you might want to come down onto your knees first. Just taking your time, slowly lowering all the way down. Fabulous. You're going to bring your hands underneath your shoulders here. And then when you're ready, we're going to come into a cobra. So however that looks for you, you might want to do a low cobra, baby cobra, or just your normal coming up to lifting that chest all the way. So entirely up to you. So just drop your chin down to the floor. And then when you're ready, inhale, slowly lift yourself up to the cobra of your, I was going to say the cobra of your dreams, but that's a bit dramatic. But yeah, whichever cobra you wish today, hold it here. Keep those elbows in. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, slowly lower yourself back down. Inhale, lift on up into that cobra again. If you are in a higher cobra, maybe you want to take the head and the neck back just slightly. Shine that chest forward. Take a breath in, exhale, lower all the way down. And then take your hands out to the side and off in front, just a little way off the mat. Maybe make a dome with the fingertips here. Drop your chin down to your chest. We're going to do some little cobra rolls. So when you're ready, inhale, slowly roll on up. Any amount is good here. Maybe take the head back if it feels good. Exhale, roll it back down. Inhale, roll it up. Send the head back if it feels good. And then exhale, roll it down. One more time. Inhale, roll it up. Send the head back if it feels good. And then exhale, roll it down. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes, and we're going to lift up nice and steady to our downward dog. Take a few breaths here. Make sure that you spread your fingertips nice and wide here. You can claw a little bit through the fingertips here. Send the hips nice and high. And we're going to do like a little twist in our downward dog here. So make sure that you have got your toe pads really pushing into the floor. Push the heels away from you. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, we're just going to pivot the toes towards the right side. So pivoting them over to the right side. You don't need to push your heels down to the floor. Your left hip is just going to dip slightly here. Try to keep the weight nice and even in between both arms and shoulders. Take a breath. So nice little twist. You're going to feel a stretch in your right side body. Inhale nice and deeply as you just really slowly and steadily pivot back so your toes are facing the front. Lovely. Take a breath in and then exhale. We're going to twist, pivot those toes towards the left side. So you're just slightly dropping that right hip. Keep those arms nice and strong. Keep that weight even. So the only thing you're really kind of moving is the legs and the hips here. Inhale as you bring it back to center. Readjust your feet if you need to, because sometimes when they twist, they move out of position. Take a breath in, exhale, twist to the left, dropping that hip just slightly. Bring it back to center. Take a breath in and then take it over to the right. Lovely. And then slowly bring yourself back to center. Just make sure that your feet are in that right position. Hold your downward dog for a breath in. And then as you exhale, roll yourself forward and then start to walk the feet to the front of the mat. Let's exhale down into a forward fold. And then inhale as we slowly rise on up again. So just taking your time. Let those arms hang.
Slowly bringing yourself up into that mountain pose. Let the hands, the palms shine forward. I'm just going to come back to the middle again, just so that you can see me okay. Lovely. From here, we're going to go into chair pose. So when you're ready, inhale, sweep the arms forward and up as you bend into the knees. So coming into that chair position, push into the heels. And the small part of your back here, that where it goes a little bit hollow, just try to push that out a little more, trying to keep the back nice and flat here. Take your gaze up in between your hands. Activate the thighs. So imagine that you've got something just wedged in between. You're gripping hold of it for dear life. Take a few breaths here. And then we're going to keep the knees as they are. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, you're going to sweep the arms forward and then back behind you for those little airplane arms. Open the chest up, lift that chest nice and high. And then we're going to release, bring the arms back up overhead, back to that chair position. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, sending those arms down and back behind you, airplane arms. Lovely, really push into those heels. Bring the arms back up overhead, back to your chair pose. One more time, letting them come down. Airplane arms behind you. Lift that chest. Wonderful. Send the arms up overhead. Inhale deeply as you straighten the legs. Exhale as you come forward into your forward fold. You can return to that little sway again, maybe to your ragdoll, whatever feels good. Just giving you a little bit of a release in your back here. Lovely. And then you're going to inhale, sweep the arms forward. We're returning to that chair posture. Push down into those heels. So just check in that you're in your chair posture. Your alignment is good. We're squeezing those thighs. Lovely. Maybe you can take the knees a little deeper this time. We want to be pushing the small part of that back out a little bit here, just to try and keep that back nice and flat. And then we're going to go into a little twist. So take a breath in, and then as you exhale, we're going to twist to the right side. Take the left hand to the outside of that right knee, and then just bring the palm of your hand to the small of your back. And then you're just going to gently bring the right shoulder back. So just gently pulling it back here. Take a couple of breaths. Hold it here. You want to push more into your heels here, so you don't kind of lean or tip forward. Lovely. Slowly release. Bring yourself back to your chair posture. Take a breath in and then take it to the other side. So twist nice and steady to the left. Right hand comes to the outside of the left leg. Hand comes on the small part of your back, and then just gently pull back your left shoulder this time. Take a few breaths here. Lovely. Slowly bring yourself back to center. Lift the arms up overhead, straighten the legs, and then exhale, fold forward. Lovely. Again, you can just do a little sway if you wish, if that feels good for you. Wonderful. From here, you're going to plant your hands. We're going to send the right leg back, drop the back knee and untuck the toes. Hands are going to be either side of that left foot. Shine the chest forward here. Gently push into your pelvis. Push that down towards the floor. Really think of shining the chest forward as you breathe into the lungs here. Fill the lungs up. Lovely. And then we're going to do a little bit of a movement here, a little bit like intuitively, like we did with our tabletop earlier. So you're just going to kind of move gently backwards and forwards, just really steady. No big movement, it's just a little movement. You're not trying to straighten the leg or anything here. And then maybe curl the toes, maybe lift the back knee. So maybe do a combination of the two. Maybe drop the knee down, lift it up. And all the while thinking of kind of pushing and shining that chest forward as you do this little movement. So it might be that you stay down on your knee. You can move the hips as well a little bit from side to side, so you're getting a little bit of a twist. That might feel quite nice as well. Lovely. Fabulous. Bring it back to your low lunge. You're going to plant the right hand down, and then we're going to inhale, lift the left arm up, do a little bit of a twist here, shine that chest up towards the sky, maybe take your gaze up at your hands, take a few breaths here. Lovely. Exhale as you bring your hands back down to frame your foot. And then we're going to straighten this left leg, lift the toes off the floor, coming into a half monkey here. So you can bring your hands back so they're a little more in line with your knee. Inhale as you shine the chest forward, and then exhale, you want to lead from your chest. Let the chest come down over your leg. Any amount is good here. Feel a nice deep stretch in the hamstring. Hold it here for a few breaths. You might want to round your head and your neck forward towards your knee, if that feels good as well. And then we're going to kind of do that little movement again. We're going to rock up and down here. So using your elbows, you can round the back, let the chest shine forward. So kind of just moving up and down over the leg. It doesn't have to be anything big or dramatic. Just can be a little movement. So almost like you're doing a little bit of a cat-cow over your leg. Wonderful. Slowly bend back into your knee here. You're going to plant your hands, tuck your back toes, and you're going to step this right foot forward to meet your left. And then you're going to cross your right leg over the left. Okay. Now we're going to fold forward here, so you can have a bend in the knee, but you must make sure that your left foot is grounded to the floor. Your right foot can come up, so you can lift the heel up, you can come up onto the tiptoe as you bend your knee, but it's less important that your left foot is grounded here, that it stays grounded. And then just bring yourself over your legs. So you might be holding on to your legs, you might have your hands down to the floor. And then just take a couple of breaths here. If you have got your knees bent, you might be able to just straighten them a little once you're in the pose, but obviously don't force it. Just listen to your body. Lovely. Just slowly release yourself from this pose. So uncrossing the legs, just return back to a forward fold. And then we're going to plant the hands, step both feet back to a high plank position. Draw your navel in, then exhale, knees, chest and chin here. Lower down onto your belly. Inhale up into a cobra. Exhale down, tuck the toes, send it back to your downward dog. Lovely. Inhale, look forward, walk your feet to the front of the mat. Exhale down into a forward fold. Let's inhale to a halfway lift here. Pull those shoulders back again. Take a breath in and then exhale, lower down to your forward fold. Plant your hands here. Step that left foot back this time. Drop your back knee. Untuck the toes. We're shining that chest forward. Keep your hands to either side of your foot. Take a couple of breaths. Gently push into the pelvis, opening up the hip flexor a little bit here. Lovely. And then we're just going to do that little movement, little rock backwards and forwards, maybe side to side. Maybe we're going to lift the knee off the floor, gently move backwards and forwards. Each time you come forward, thinking of shining that chest forward. Lovely. You can mix the two movements together. So just do what feels good for you. You might bring your knee to poke out a little bit, roll onto the side of your foot, send the hips from side to side. It's entirely up to you. Just feel into it. Lovely. Plant that left hand this time. Inhale as you lift the right arm up to the sky. Nice little twist here. Think of really lifting that chest up nice and high, opening up through your rib cage here. Gently send that right shoulder back a little bit. And take your gaze up to your hand if it feels good. Lovely. Exhale as you bring your hands to frame your foot, and we're going to straighten the right leg this time. Lift those toes off the floor. Bring the hands back a little more in line with your knees. Shine that chest forward as you inhale. Exhale, lower that chest down over your leg. So lead with your chest here. Remember, any amount is good, so just hold it in that place. And then breathe into your hamstring here. Notice where you're feeling the most sensation. And then we're just going to do that up and down, that kind of cat-cow over the leg. So just lifting up, shine that chest forward as you come up. Let it lead you back down to your leg. Using your elbows here, straightening them, and then bending into them. And just, it's really important to keep the breath flowing here as you do this. Fabulous. Wonderful. Bend back into your knee. Plant the hands, tuck your back toe, step the left foot forward to meet your right. Then we're going to go into that little cross leg again. So when you're ready, you're going to cross the left leg over the right. You can have that bend in the knee, but remember this time it's your right foot that needs to be planted to the floor. So it's okay if the other one lifts, but that right foot needs to be planted. And then just allow yourself to come over your legs. If your knees are bent, you can try and straighten them a little bit once you're in the pose. Take a few breaths here. Lovely. Just slowly release yourself out and bring yourself back to a forward fold. Wonderful. Plant your hands, step both feet back to a high plank position. Draw your navel in, take a breath, and then exhale. Let's knees, chest, chin here. Exhale down. Inhale up into a cobra, your version. Exhale down. Tuck the toes, and then back to your downward dog. Take a few breaths here. Lovely. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, you're going to lower your knees down to the floor, untuck the toes, and let's release down into a child's pose here. So allow your forearms to relax, the shoulders to relax. And as you breathe here, allow the back and the chest to just melt over the top of your thighs. Wonderful. We're going to take it to a wide-legged child's pose now. You can stay in regular child's pose if you'd prefer, but otherwise we're going to take those knees a little wider, so maybe as wide as the mat. And then when you're ready, you're going to walk the hands forward, think of lowering the top of that chest down towards the mat first, and then let your forehead come down to the mat. So allowing that chest to
come as close to the floor as possible. And then if you want to go a little deeper with the arms here, just use your fingertips, just walk them away from you a little bit so you get that nice stretch throughout the whole of the underarm, underneath the armpits. And you might also feel it across the back of your shoulders here. So creating that little bit more space, getting the oxygen flowing around that chest cavity, giving your heart space to pump and breathe. Wonderful. And when you're ready, inhale deeply, just slowly lift yourself up into a kneeling position. And then once you're here, we're going to take the legs out in front and then make our way down onto our backs. I'm just going to have a little drink. Once you arrive on your back here, you're going to have your knees bent, feet flat to the mat. And we're going to go into a bridge pose, but we're going to do it a little differently today. So just pop your hands down, line the heel up with your middle finger, so setting your own body up for bridge. And then when we inhale, we're going to lift the hips, but we're also going to lift the arms up at the same time, take them up overhead. So don't worry too much about sending the hips really high. We don't want to jolt the back or anything. So just be really careful here. So don't think that you've really got to thrust up really high. We're just gently moving up in a nice fluid motion as we go up. Okay, we're going to have a chance to go a little deeper in a moment. So when you're ready, inhale, just slowly lift the hips and the arms up overhead. Once the arms land, you're going to cactus the arms out across the floor. And then we're gently going to push into the shoulder blades, gently push the backs of the arms into the floor. Inhale, and this is going to help lift the hips that little bit higher, so taking you a little deeper into the pose. Make sure that those knees are not splaying out to either side and really just kind of ground down through the feet here. Feel the chest really open here. You're really making some space here. Also creating space within the ribs and the belly. Take a deep breath in, and then as you exhale, just take your arms up overhead first, and then exhale, slowly bring everything back down. Let the spine and the hands just come back down to the earth. Wonderful. We're going to do that again. So inhale, just slowly lift the hips, send the arms up overhead. Once the arms land, send them into that cactus. And then gently use the arms and the shoulders here, push them into the ground and get that to really send the hips a little higher here. Nice deep breaths here. Feel that breath circulating all around your torso, all around that heart space, in and out of the rib cage. Lovely. Inhale, send the arms up first. Exhale, slowly lower everything back down. Wonderful. Draw your knees into your chest. Give them a little squeeze. Maybe do those small circles. Send that circle the other way. Lovely. Let your feet come back down to the floor. And then you're going to send your leg up into the air, the left one into the air. We're going to take the peace fingers of the left hand, grab hold of our big toe, so you can bend the knee as much as you need to here. And then send the right leg out straight. Lovely. Take the right arm out to the side. So in that, as if you're going to do a T shape, but we're just half a T we are today.
And then when you're ready, take a breath in, and then as you exhale, you're going to take this left leg over, a little way over to the left. So thinking of opening up through the chest, and then also opening up through the hips slightly here. You're going to, if you want to, you don't have to, you can keep this bend in the knee, but if you do want to go that little bit deeper, we're pushing the heel away from us. There's going to be a little bit of wobble and maybe some shaking as well in this leg here. So just hold it in a position that feels comfortable and really anchor this right shoulder down. You can gently push into the palm as well. Keep that breath nice and even here. Wonderful. Slowly bring your leg back to center. Keep the leg in the air, but take your right hand this time and bring it to the inside of your right leg. So anywhere as high up as you can get it, basically. Take the left arm out into that T shape. Push the palm down, anchor that shoulder down as well. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, you're going to use your right arm to just guide your left leg over to the right side. This is going to be a smaller amount, so you're probably not going to be able to bring it as far as you did the other way. And then if you want to go deeper, we can push that heel away from us again. You'll feel it instantly if you push that heel away. And if you're shaking too much here, just lift the leg just slightly, just bring it a little bit more towards the center. Again, nice even breaths here. Make sure you're not gripping in your belly. Wonderful. And then slowly just bring it back to center. Let the leg come down to the floor. Wonderful. We're going to take it to the other side. So right leg is going to go in the air. You're going to take your peace fingers, grab hold of that big toe, have that bend in the knee if you need. Left leg's going to go out straight. Take that left arm back out to that T shape again. Take a breath in, then as you exhale, that right leg is going to go out to the right side. You can push the heel away from you as much as you like. Breathe here. So you're going to feel a lovely stretch in the back of your right leg. We're also thinking of widening the chest here as well. Wonderful. Inhale as you bring the leg back to center, nice and steady. Going to swap hands. Left hand's going to come on the inside of the right leg this time. Right arm's going to go out. Take a breath in, and then exhale, take it over to the left side. Remember, it's going to be a shorter distance this time, smaller amounts. And then you can also push that heel away if you want to go deeper. Lovely. Slowly bring your leg back to center. Just release it back down. And then bend into both of your knees here, feet flat to the floor, just to realign yourself if you need to. And then you're going to take your right leg, cross it over the left. And then we're not going to draw the knees into the chest here. So keep your left foot flat to the floor. And then we're going to take the arms out into a T shape. And then you're just going to let your knees fall to the left side. So just let them fully fall down first. And then see if you can take your arms back into that cactus shape. So it's going to feel a little awkward here, but really try to anchor both your shoulders down towards the floor. There's a big possibility that one or both are kind of lifted. Don't worry too much about that. Just actively push them down, open that chest. Breathe nice and deeply here. Don't worry too much about your legs either. Don't worry if they're hovering. So getting a nice twist in the spine here as well. Nice twist around the waist. Wonderful. Just slowly bring your arms back down by your side first. Inhale, bring the knees back to center and cross the legs, and then take it to the other side. So cross left leg over right. Keep that right foot flat to the floor. Send the arms out into a T shape, and then let the knees fall to the right side. Lovely. It's quite possible that you get like a crack in your back as well when you do this. And then we're going to see if we can send those arms into that cactus shape. You can just gently push them down into the floor. So actively pushing both shoulders like you're trying to glue them to the floor here. And then nice, steady breaths. Wonderful. Bring your arms down by your sides. And then just slowly bring the knees back to center. You can just uncross the legs here. Let's draw the knees into the chest. Give them a really nice big hug here. And if your neck will allow, just inhale deeply as you lift your nose to your knees. Give them a big, big squeeze. And then we're going to try and squeeze everything here. So giving it everything that you've got, nose as close to your knees as possible. Maybe squeeze the fists together, curl the toes, squeeze, 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 squeeze everything. Really, really tight. Give it everything that you've got. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And then take a big, deep breath in. And then as you exhale, release your whole body down into your Shavasana. Oh. So taking some deeper breaths here. Let's really let the body melt down now into the floor. Lovely. Let's do a nice little body scan together, starting with the feet. So relaxing your toes, relax those feet, let them fall away from each other. Relax your ankles and your calves, soften the knees, relax the thighs, the hips and the glutes. Let's soften through the belly and the ribs, and allow your spine and your sacrum to become really heavy. Let it sink down into the mat. Relax your fingers, your hands, your arms and your shoulders. And then take your attention to that heart space. Soften as much as you can around that area. And just notice if you're feeling a little more open now. Can you feel that space we've created around the heart, around the ribs? And then we're going to relax the neck and the head. Relax the face and all of those little facial muscles that you have. So the cheeks, your forehead, your temples, your brow, especially the little frowny bit in between your eyebrows. Relax your jaw and allow your tongue to just rest on the roof of your mouth. And then just for the last few minutes in your Shavasana, just focus in on your breath. So that natural wave of your breath. And you can even have that little visualization of a wave coming in, syncing your breath with the wave. So if you imagine you're laying on a beach and the wave comes in over your feet and washes over the whole of your body as you inhale. And then as you exhale, that wave goes back out, down the whole of the body, away from the feet, and taking any stress, any tension that might be left in the body along with it. So just sync that wave with your breath. And then just keep trying to release with each exhale. So you can just start to wiggle your fingers and your toes now. Just gently waking the body back up again. And then we'll do a nice full body stretch. Send the arms up overhead. Nice big stretch, sending it all the way down and out through the toes. Lovely. And then when you're ready, just slowly rolling onto your side. And then keeping your eyes closed, just bringing yourself up into a comfortable seat. And then once you arrive in your seat, taking a few breaths and just checking in with your mood again. So noticing if that's changed, noticing if this heart opening practice has done anything to elevate your mood. And then just tuning into the body, noticing any changes. Hopefully they're positive ones, even if they're only subtle. And then let's take one final breath together. So take a deep breath in through the nose. Slow exhale out, blinking open the eyes. And that brings us to the close of this practice. So I really do hope that you've enjoyed this little heart opening flow. Please let me know how you got on with it. Thank you so much for joining me.